Thank you all for joining. Today we're going to be doing a counter the chair pose, counter the desk sitting. We're going to do some easy flowing and lots of twists. It should be a nice relaxing practice. We're going to actually start on our backs today. So if everyone wants to take it nice and easy, and we're just going to lay out on our mat. Take a few breaths there just to kind of settle in and calm down for the evening. Since we're at the beginning of our practice, maybe we still want our palms facing up so that we can still have some energy flowing. Legs are out long and just letting our feet roll open. Maybe tucking our shoulder blades a little bit so that our arms fall nice and flat on the earth. Taking a nice inhale in through the nose. Nice, easy, slow exhale out. Nice, easy inhale in. Slow exhale, releasing into the earth. Continuing to follow that nice, slow breath. Letting gravity just open up the hips and the chest very gently. That first easy counter to sitting in a chair or hunched over a desk all day. Gradually, we're going to move our right foot up near our hip, and then just start to put some pressure through that right foot, bringing that right hip gently off the mat for a gentle twist. Inhaling, and then exhale, releasing that hip back to the mat. On each inhale, gently pushing through the foot to pick that right hip up off the mat, kind of rolling onto our left side, and then exhale, releasing back to the mat. Inhale, rolling up, and exhale, releasing. Just gently twisting. Exploring this motion. Maybe you find a sticky spot you want to take a few breaths in. Maybe taking one or two more rolls and finding your way back to neutral. Letting that right foot go long on the mat. Bringing that left foot in. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Inhale, just putting a little bit of pressure through that left foot and raising that left hip off the mat so that you twist towards the right. Exhale, releasing it down. Inhale, rolling towards the right. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale, releasing. Again, feeling free to spend a few breaths and maybe at the peak of the twist. Taking one or two more breaths here. then settling back into the floor. We're going to send the left leg long and bring the right foot back up towards the hip. And this time we're just going to cross that right knee over to the left, just giving ourselves a gentle supine twist. The left leg is still long. Arms can be out in a T, or maybe cactus arms feel good if you want an extra little bit of a chest opener. Just breathing here, trying to release any muscles holding you there and just letting gravity do the work. Making maybe a mental note of where you're at with your body right now. You're feeling stiff or tight. Take one more breath here. Nice inhale here. And exhale, rolling back to the center, sending that right leg long. Let's inhale, bringing our left leg up. And then exhale, releasing that left leg, crossing it over the right. Right leg is still long. Supine twist on the other side. Again, trying to release any tension. Your muscles are trying to hold you there. Just trying to gently let them go. Not forcing. One more inhale here. And exhale, rolling back to neutral. Bringing that other foot up. So both of your legs are bent. We're just going to gently roll a little bit, gently along the spine. Nice and easy until we've brought ourselves to sitting. Maybe taking a couple extra rolls, giving our spine a nice little massage. Before we come to seated, let's start with a few seated cat-cows. So I like to keep my hands on my knees so I can inhale, opening the chest, looking up. Exhale, really holding onto those knees so I can sit back, round the back, drop the chin. Inhale, pulling the chest forward. And exhale, rounding the back. Inhale for cow pose. Exhale for cat pose. Take a couple more cat-cows or any other motions that feel good here. Maybe you want to do a few circles with the torso to kind of get into the side body. Maybe switching directions. When you're ready, coming back to neutral. Just going to take a few breaths to open up any stress that we're holding in the neck or the shoulders. So I like to start today by taking my left hand down to the mat and then dropping my right ear to my right shoulder, getting a really nice stretch all the way through the neck. breathing here. And then maybe taking your head through the motions, if your neck is okay, through a little yes motion, up and down, taking breath where you need it. Or maybe the no motion, side to side. Just working through all the various muscles in the neck. Taking your time to come back to neutral. And then bringing that right hand to the ground, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder, working through those same motions on the other side. Using the breath to work through any extra stress or stickiness. Taking another breath or two to find your way back to neutral. Maybe taking a little shoulder roll if that feels good. We're going to make our way into tabletop. So just kind of falling over your crossed legs, if that feels comfortable. We're just working into tabletop, however it feels good for you. I'm going to take a few cat-cows here, just letting us work into the pose a little bit deeper. So inhale, dropping the belly, looking up. Exhale, pushing through the palms, rounding the back. Inhale, dropping the belly, maybe thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades in to really open up the chest. And exhale, releasing, creating space in the back. Inhale for cow pose, gazing up. Exhale, dropping the chin for cat pose. Take a few more here. Again, taking any other movements that feel good. Maybe again, working through that side body, giving yourself a nice stretch. When you're ready, let's just take a moment. We're gonna just sit back on our heels and send our hands out nice and long into an active child's pose. So maybe dropping your head to the mat if that feels good. If you've been holding a lot of stress in your brow, maybe giving yourself a little massage along the forehead, just rolling your head along the mat. Your hands are out long and active. Let's inhale and walk our hands over to the left. Get a nice stretch through that right side body. On the next inhale, walking our hands back to the center. Exhale, walking them over to the right. Taking a few breaths here. Thinking about expanding that rib cage into the left side body. See if that gives you a little bit of a deeper stretch. Using the breath to create space. On the next inhale, walking our hands back to center. I'm going to move into puppy pose. So coming up onto our knees, so our hips are right above our knees. we're gonna walk our hands out long, so kind of like they were in child's pose, and then just drop our chest towards the earth. So hips are stacked over the knees, arms are out long. This can be, not everyone's gonna be able to get their chest onto the earth or their head onto the earth, but this should feel like a nice stretch through the front side of the body, through the chest. This is a nice, active, kind of counter pose to the hunching you might have if we're sitting over a desk all day. Again, using the breath to create space, sending the lungs and the rib cage out to all sides of the body. When you're ready, walking your hands back into tabletop. We're gonna fold our toes under and then just bring our hips up, knees off the floor, hips high, into our first downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths here. You can pedal out your feet, wake up those hamstrings a little bit. Making sure you're not holding any tension in the neck, maybe giving that head a little shake. Maybe a nice little inhale up onto your toes. Maybe send those heels over to the right side. You can either keep the legs straight or find a little bend. Just exploring what gives you the most stretch or what just feels nice today. Inhaling back up to center. Exhale, releasing those heels to the left. Inhale, back up to center. This time we're just going to exhale and gently walk our feet towards the front of the mat into a standing forward fold. Feet can be about hips width apart. Maybe you want to grab your elbows and just sway a bit from side to side. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, releasing the hands if you're holding the elbows. Let's inhale, bringing our hands to shins, halfway lift. Then exhale, fold. Inhale, big bend in the knees, rolling up to standing. Exhale, rolling those shoulders back. Standing in a nice, strong Tadasana, or mountain pose. Let's inhale, bringing our hands high. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bending the knees, rolling up to standing. Maybe hands come to the sky. Exhale, come right back into that next fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to standing, hands coming to the sky. Exhale, maybe bringing the hands together, drawing those hands down through your heart. Exhale, and folding all the way to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up one more time, hands to the sky. Exhale, drawing those hands down all the way through your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, this time bringing our hands to the mat. Let's step back for plank pose. Dropping our knees to the mat. Going to exhale here for chaturanga, making sure not to bend our elbows more than 90 degrees. And then inhale up for cobra. Exhale for downward facing dog. Thinking about the pressure on the hands, making sure you're not pushing it all of the weight into one spot. You're distributing the pressure across all the areas of the palm and all the way out through the fingers. Hands are really stretched, really actively wide. Fingers are all wide. Let's inhale up onto our toes. Gaze comes to thumbs. Exhale, gentle bend in the knees. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to standing. Exhale, rolling the shoulders back. Nice, strong Tadasana. Let's take a breath here. Really root through the earth. Nice, inhale in. And exhale. Feeling the body root through the feet, into the mat, into the earth. Let's inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Let's step the right foot back and then drop the knee for a low lunge. I'm gonna take a couple of breaths here. If you have knee issues, make sure that your knee is not over your toes. If you don't have any knee issues and it feels okay, then your knee can be a little bit out over your toes. But just taking a couple breaths here, maybe feeling a nice stretch through the right hip flexor. You can either keep the hands on the ground. If you have blocks, this can be a nice place for blocks. If you want a little bit deeper stretch, you can maybe bring your hands up to the knee. Inhaling and exhaling. Another inhale here. And exhale. Releasing to the mat. Tucking that back toe under. Stepping the left foot back into plank pose. You can drop the knees or stay in plank for this chaturanga. Inhaling here, exhaling. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. You heard me saying cat pose too many times, I think. Hi, sir. Taking a couple of breaths in your downward facing dog. Let's inhale, stepping the left leg forward. Right leg forward this time. Dropping the left knee to the mat. For a low lunge on the other side, you can tuck those toes under if you want, or release the tops of the foot to the mat. And again, just taking a few breaths here to feel out the lunge. If it's feeling good, you can come up onto your knee. On the next exhale, releasing the hands back to the mat, tucking those back toes under. Just gonna step forward, kneading the feet together at the top of the mat into a forward fold. Take a couple breaths here. Again, maybe swaying a bit from side to side, maybe playing with sliding forward a little bit on the inhale and maybe sliding back onto the heels on an exhale. Just kind of exploring space. Letting the head hang loose. No tension in the neck. Let's inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, roll those shoulders back. Tadasana. Inhale, hands reach for the sky. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Let's step our right foot back for another low lunge. You can drop that right knee to the mat. Maybe this time, inhaling our hands up. And exhale, maybe opening our arms into cactus, giving ourselves a little heart opener. Inhaling, hands up. And exhaling for cactus. One more time, inhale, hands up. And exhale for cactus. Inhale, hands up. This time, exhale, bringing our hands back to the mat. We're just gonna help ourselves slide gently back into a little runner's lunge, getting into the hamstring a little bit. If this is tough on your knee that's on the ground, you can fold your mat over a couple of times or maybe have a blanket under that knee. You can flex the left foot to really get into the hamstring. Remember to breathe. On your next inhale, coming back forward into that low lunge, bringing our hands to the mat. Nice exhale here. Inhale, bringing that knee off of the mat, stepping the foot back into plank. And then exhale for your chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for downward facing dog. On the next inhale, let's step our right leg forward. Exhale, release that left knee to the mat. Again, coming into our low lunge. If it feels okay, maybe inhale your hands high, and then exhale, open up for cactus. Inhale, hands up. Exhale for cactus. Inhale, hands up. One more time, open up, cactus arms. Inhale, hands up. This time, exhale, bringing the hands back to the mat and sending yourself back into your runner's lunge. Your hips should be stacked above your knee on the left. Right foot is flexed. Inhale, bringing it back to the lunge. Exhale, bringing our hands back to the mat. Inhale, popping those left toes under, coming up, bringing that left knee off the mat. And then exhale, stepping it forward and releasing into our fold. Inhale, hands come to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to standing. Exhale, releasing those shoulders, coming into a nice strong mountain pose. You guys can stay at the front of your mats. I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to do just a fun, maybe simpler standing series today, but should get your muscles warmed up a little bit. So let's take another breath here in our mountain pose and really think about rooting our feet through the earth. Nice inhale here. Wiggling those toes around so you really feel like they can grip the mat. And exhale. On the next inhale, we're going to lift our right foot off the mat and just grab our right knee. We can bring our left hand to our hip. Make sure we're standing tall. And then exhale. Let's just open that hip up to the side. And then exhale, bringing it back to the center. We're going to cross our right foot over our left leg, and then I like to bring my hands up to heart center here. If you push through the palms, sometimes can help give you a little bit of balance, a little bit of resistance to work against. Then we're just going to sit back a little bit and really give ourselves a nice hip opening stretch. Beautiful, yogis. If you fall, that's okay. Just come back to your mat, root through the earth, take a breath to settle yourself. Let's inhale, standing tall, releasing that foot to the mat. Excellent work. We'll take a breath to come back to mountain pose. Sending our fingers wide, opening ourselves up to that energy. Nice big inhale. And exhale, feeling that breath run all the way from the top of our head, all the way through our body, through our legs, through our feet, into the earth. We're going to inhale, bringing our left foot off the mat, holding the knee. And then exhale, opening that leg up, out to the side. Maybe bringing our right hand to our hip, helping us to stand tall. Beautiful. On the next inhale, bringing that knee back to the center and then crossing the left foot over the right. Bringing our hands to heart center, sitting back. Maybe flexing that left foot for a little bit extra engagement. Breathing here. If you're having trouble finding stability, I guess I am just talking about it. Finding a spot that's not moving, something maybe on the floor or on the wall. On the next inhale, standing tall, settling that left foot back to the mat. Beautiful job. Let's take one more breath here in our mountain pose. Reroot through the earth. Inhale here. And exhale. Maybe sigh it out. Inhale for chair pose. Sitting back. And exhale, release into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bringing our hands to the mat, stepping back for plank. Inhale here, and exhale, chaturanga. You can always take this from your knees. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for downward facing dog. You can always take the chaturangas from your knees, or at this point in the practice, if you're feeling warm, you can skip them all together. Let's inhale, our right leg lifts. Exhale, stepping the right leg through. Inhale up for high lunge. Our left heel is off the mat. Both our hips are facing forward. We're gonna exhale, take our right hand, extending it long, opening up to the side for a little twist. We'll take that with the breath. So inhaling, hands up. Exhale, sending that right arm long behind us, twisting open. Inhale, up. One more time, exhale, twisting open. Let's hold it here for one breath. Maybe thinking about zipping those legs in tight to the midline of your body if you need a little extra stability. And on the next inhale, bringing those hands high. And then exhale, releasing those hands to the mat, stepping back for your flow, skipping it if you'd like, meeting us in downward facing dog. If you're with me, inhaling for up dog, exhale for downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, send the left leg high. Exhale, stepping it through. Inhale, up for high lunge. That right heel is still off the mat. Nice inhale here. And then exhale, sending that left arm long, opening up for a nice twist. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, sending that left hand back. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, twist. Let's take a breath here. And inhale, hands up. Exhale, sending the hands back to the mat. Yogi's choice, flow, or meet us in downward facing dog. Taking a moment in downward facing dog to maybe settle your breath. You can always come into child's pose here if you're feeling like you've generated a little bit too much heat. On the next inhale, coming up onto your toes, gaze comes to thumbs. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Inhale for chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the mat, step back for plank. If you'd like to flow with us, inhale here. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, stepping it through. Inhale, up for high lunge. Exhale, sending that right arm to the back, twisting open. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, twist. Inhale, hands to the front. Exhale, twist. Inhale, hands to the front. This time, exhale, coming into a twisted side angle. So bringing that left elbow to the right knee, hands are in prayer, pushing on those palms to really open up the chest. Take 2 more breaths here. Both legs are actively engaged. On the next inhale, bringing those hands back up into your high lunge. And exhale, bringing the hands back to the mat, stepping back for plank. Inhale here. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, stepping it through. Inhale, up for high lunge. Exhale, sending that left hand open long, twisting to the left. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, hands up. This time, into our twisted side angle, bringing that right elbow to the left knee, really pushing through the palms to really open up the chest. This twist really comes from the upper back, not from the hips. Beautiful. One more breath here. And exhale. Inhale, coming back up to high lunge. Exhale, releasing those hands to the mat. One more flow. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here, or maybe coming into child's pose if you need to release some heat. If you're in child's pose, meeting us back in downward dog for a breath. Take a nice inhale together here. And exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Let's inhale, bringing the right leg high. Exhale, bringing that knee to the right wrist, setting the foot down for pigeon pose. Sending that left leg out long behind you. Maybe getting a blanket or a pillow to help support your hips. And then sending that left leg, checking over the shoulder, making sure the leg is nice and long. Let's take a breath here, sitting tall. And then exhale, releasing, folding over the leg. Maybe bringing the forearms out in front of us, making yourself a little pillow for the head. Again, thinking about rooting through the earth, letting go of the muscles, of the tension, letting go of the stress. Sending the breath to the areas of the body that need a little bit more space. Using the breath to expand. And then on the exhales, using the breath to release. Inhale, gently press yourself back up. Gonna slide over onto our right hip, and then just bring our left foot around so that the sole of our left foot is on the mat, just on the other side of our right knee. We'll inhale, nice and tall, sitting tall, and then exhale, just give that knee a little gentle hug and twist to the left. Inhaling nice and tall, and then exhale, releasing into that twist a little deeper. Inhale, back to center. We're going to take cow face pose. So picking that left foot up, and if you can, kind of helping it along. Maybe you have to shift on your hips a little bit, but generally your knees should be stacked. And this can be a really intense pose for some people, so you may need some support for your knees, or if it's really just not feeling accessible today, maybe you just want to sit in easy pose. That's also completely fine. you'll still get some nice benefits. If you're with me in cow face pose, if you could see me, Duke is stealing the show here tonight. And then just whether you're in easy pose or cow face pose, inhaling your hands high, and then let's take our right arm over, grabbing the elbow, giving ourselves a nice little tricep stretch. Doing a little shoulder opening. Trying to settle in here can be tough if your hips are very tight. Mine are always tight. Releasing. Let's take those feet and just cross them over so that we can roll over our knees again. Back into little tabletop. And then we'll move through a little downward facing dog into pigeon on the other side. So inhaling our left foot high. Exhale, bringing the left knee to the left wrist. Setting down for pigeon on the other side. Maybe checking over your right shoulder for good form. Right leg is out, nice and straight and long behind you. Again, if your hips are really tight, maybe you want a pillow or a blanket folded up to help support. This shouldn't be painful. Inhale, sitting nice and tall, and then exhale, bringing your forearms out in front of you. Trying to just release into the pose. If this is a pose you really struggle to settle into, maybe you're trying to think about mentally turning off sets of muscles as you scan through your legs and your hips and your back. I find that on the exhales, a lot of times I can find tension that I'm holding that I don't even realize. And it often takes me several breaths to really truly find all of that tension and turn it off. Let's inhale. Raising ourselves back up to seated, dropping ourselves over onto that left hip, and then crossing the right leg over in front. Bringing that sole of the right foot to the mat. Might have to shimmy around, finding a good spot for your hips. Then inhale, sitting nice and tall, and then exhale, just giving that right knee a nice hug, twisting over to the right. Using that breath to allow yourself to move a little bit deeper, not painfully, but just exploring what you're capable of. And inhaling yourself back to neutral in the center, and then picking that right foot up and maybe helping it just a little bit further behind for cow face pose on this side. Again, if this isn't feeling accessible to you, easy pose is always an option. Maybe it felt fine on the other side and it's just not happening on this side, or maybe you couldn't do it on the other side and this side feels okay. We often find a lot of imbalances in our body. If you're with me, inhaling here, and then grabbing that left elbow for a nice tricep stretch. And then releasing your hands. You need to take a little shoulder roll. We're going to find our way onto our stomachs. So maybe folding over your feet, kind of coming through tabletop, and then just dropping those hips to the mat. Let's just bring our hands, our palms to the mat, and then so our forehead can rest on the tops of our hands here. We're just going to inhale and bring our legs off of the mat. And let's hold that for 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhale. 1 more inhale and exhale, releasing those legs down. Take a breath here. On the next inhale, bringing those hands off the mat, maybe T-shape, maybe outstretched in front like a superhero. 2 breaths here, really trying to lift that chest off of the mat. 1 more inhale and exhale, release. Take a breath here. On the next inhale, bringing those, this time, hands and legs off of the mat like you're flying like a superhero. Inhale and exhale. 1 more inhale and exhale, release. Beautiful job. Let's move through downward facing dog just to make our way to our backs. Maybe pushing yourself up for 1 more chaturanga. Sending those hips high for downward facing dog. If that didn't work for you, feel free to just roll over onto your back. We're going to make our way there. Bringing those feet, crossing them in front of us. And then rolling onto our back. That was the long way to get there. Feel free to just roll over 180. I think some people like to think of the top of your mat in a certain way, so I don't want your heads to be at the bottom for Shavasana if that feels odd to you. We're going to do one nice hip opener before we close out practice called Happy Baby. Thank you, Duke. And we're going to grab the soles of our feet on the insides of our feet and then just gently kind of pulling those feet down, bringing those knees out to the sides of our body. If holding the feet is not accessible, you can just like hold the ankles or the shins, whatever is accessible to you. Just gently opening those hips. Maybe taking a little sway, if that feels good. 1 more breath here. When you're ready, sending those feet to the mat. Knees are still bent. We're going to take our hands out long in a T and then just picking up our hips a little bit, setting them about 1 inch to the right. We're going to drop our knees to the left for our final supine twist. And maybe you'll notice a difference from the beginning of class. Are you feeling maybe a little bit more open? Or maybe just a little bit easier or quicker to relax into the pose. Letting gravity do the work for this twist. Inhale, engaging the abs, bringing the knees back to center, putting the feet on the mat. We'll just pick those hips up and just gently set them an inch or two to the left so that we can let those knees drop over to the right. Again, just doing a mental scan of the body, noting if you feel any different than you did when we took this at the beginning of practice. On the next inhale, engaging those abs, bringing those knees back to the middle. This time, sending the feet long for Shavasana. Sending those hands alongside the body. Again, maybe tucking those shoulder blades underneath. Letting those feet hang open. Closing the eyes. Nice, easy inhale through the nose. And exhale, just melting a little bit into the earth. Inhale, be scanning the body, making any final movements so you can settle in for a few breaths here. It's just as important to give our body time to rest, time to heal, time to recuperate after a practice. An exercise for the mind. Maybe trying to use the breath again to release any tension left in the body. Be thinking about the top of the head and releasing it. Releasing any tension in the brow or the eyes. Releasing the tongue, letting the jaw go slack. Releasing the throat and neck. Releasing the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows. Releasing the forearms and the wrists. Releasing the palms and each finger. Letting the rib cage settle into the earth. Allowing the hips to open, release. Releasing the quads and the hamstrings. Releasing the knees. Releasing the shins and the calves. Releasing the ankles. Releasing the tops of the feet and the bottoms of the feet. All the way through each toe. Body is fully relaxed, and maybe you're noticing just the easy wave of the breath. In and out. Choosing to stay here for a little while longer, or invite you to start to move your fingers and toes. Maybe roll the wrists and the ankles. Maybe indulging in a nice full body stretch, taking a yawn if it comes. And then gently rolling yourself over to your left or your right side for a breath here. And then with your eyes closed, gently pushing yourself up to seated. Taking a nice, easy inhale and exhale here. We bring our hands to heart center. Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. We raise our thumbs to third eye, bow and say Namaste. Namaste, yogis. Thank you for joining me today.